Welcome back, guys, to yet another video. Now this is going to be the part 1 of swapping my Prius into a manual. Now obviously the first steps to do it is obviously going to be starting with the battery. Since this small battery right here just doesn't have enough cold cranking amps to start the starter, which if we do want to convert it to manual, I will have to get. So the first step is obviously going to get is to install this one instead of this one. So what I got here is I got a fuse, this just in case something happens, I don't damage my entire system. Got some terminals, got a kill switch, obviously the battery box and the battery itself. Obviously as long as I put some 2-gauge wires. So we can go ahead and start off by removing this battery right here. Now I did move this battery out of this hole right here just because, as you can see, I flattened that area out. Why did I do it? Just because so I can access this battery much more easily. Now that I don't need this anymore. And it's kind of a shame because I bought this battery just, maybe it's like not even a year old. But I am pretty happy with how it turned out. Now we're just gonna remove these pieces, the battery clamp, and that's pretty much it. And here we go, the battery is now disconnected. It should be coming off loose. There we go. And this can be sold to whoever. Now we'll have to keep this since this does have a fuse that connects the inverter and the converter, which is pretty important for now. But now that this battery is disconnected, now I need to remove this battery box right here. Now obviously I just welded it in because I wasn't thinking really. I thought I would just be keeping this for much longer than I actually am. But it's not really that big of a deal. Just got to remove some stuff and I'll be good to go. So let's remove this and then we can start mocking up that battery box right there. So now that the battery box is completely removed, I can take this piece right here and actually start measuring where exactly I want to bolt this on. Now I do have to keep in mind that I will be using this base up right here, this portion right here. So I am probably going to mount it maybe somewhere around here. Let's see where the frame rail is. Maybe even here, because I really don't want to mount it here in between the frame rail since I will be using this space up right now. So I got to really figure out what I'm going to do or where I'm going to mount this. So I will be mounting the battery right around here, right by the wheel well. I think it is quite a nice spot for it, honestly. Now I just gotta mark out where all these bolt holes are, just so I can have a nice sturdy finish. And then once that's done, I can take on my drill and drill it out. Cool, so all the holes are drilled out, which is obviously cool, they all match. Now we just gotta go with some primer and make sure everything is sealed off, because you don't want any, obviously you don't want any rust issues. Oops. Jesus. Alright, let's get this out of the way and spray this final piece right here. There we go. Now we just gotta go with the same thing to the underside, which if we look under here, this piece right here, and this piece right here. Cool. Obviously the same thing on this side as well. And there we go. Now we just gotta wait for it to drain, not drain, to dry, and we can hit it with a coat of black. Now that the battery and the battery box are in, and let me tell you, that looks so good. It just looks like really good. Like for 70 bucks, I will probably get the same one for my Echo because just nothing beats it. But just whatever. But next up is just to mount these terminals right here. I will mount this grounding point to this bolt right here. I think it's going to be a really nice spot. For this one, I'm going to have to run it all the way to the dash, to the kill switch. Well, actually, let me explain you how I will run things. So this is going to go to this terminal, and then this one piece is going to go to here. And then this one is going to go to the fuse box. So in case anything happens, or there's too much voltage coming through the battery, this will just flip, and bam, you're gonna have no power whatsoever. And if you're in a rush, or something bad happens, or you just want to leave the car for long periods of time, you just flip this, take the switch, and no one's gonna be able to take it. Obviously, it's a 2 mechanism. It's pretty nice, and it's a guarantee of like nothing's gonna bad happen to the car. But overall, let's take this and mount this portion right here so far, which I do have right here. I just have to shorten this. And so far I've installed the grounding point. As you can see, it's a quite simple journey. This bolt right here. I have just connected the OEM one just by the bolt, just so I can move this car out of this driveway and onto the street, where I can actually work more and install the actual cable running to that little hole right there. That's where I'm going to connect this, and that's where I'm also going to connect the fuse. So far, let me just clean up and let me get out of here. So starting off, I've wired my positive wire that will go all the way to this point right here. I currently have it plugged up to the original wiring, just so I can move the car around and such like this, since I don't have enough connectors. I don't have enough these pieces right here. They just are out of them, which is surprising, so I'm just gonna have to wait for that. But this is the mounting point. I mounted it on the strut tower. Next, I'm gonna just go from this point, which I actually have right here. Just gotta trim it out a bit and get a new connector. It will also connect all the way to that red kill switch back there, which I've already made a little bracket. The only thing, I just gotta actually install it. But so far, I just need to wait for this one, and then I'm gonna also get to mounting this piece fully. Alright, so this is maybe a week, 2 weeks later. I've finally gotten enough of these terminals to finish the whole system. So as you can see, I connected this piece right here, which is just the DC AC terminal that powers the inverter in the front. I wasn't sure how to connect this properly, since it does have a 5 amp fuse, so I'm not really sure. I'll figure that out later, but oh well. This is plugged in. This goes all the way to the kill switch. Now I just need to get the last wire and connect it from the kill switch all the way to the fuse box in the front. That's pretty much the last step. And then we turn on the car, test the system, and see how everything performs. Here's the moment of truth. I've connected this wire right here all the way to the fuse box, and let's see if it turns on. Oh! Alright, cool. So the car turns on, which means the wiring is completely fine. There's nothing. Let's check this out. Oh, shoot. Why does this not work? Let's turn it off. Let's try just putting it into just on position. So as you can see, the car is on. The thing is on as well. Let's see. Huh. So there's nothing wrong with the kill switch. Yeah, as you can see, the car turns on. So that means... So what I'm probably going to have to do is take that little thing that I connected and connect it all the way to here. Yeah, that's going to be... It's not that difficult, really. I just need to extend that wire all the way to here, and it should be solved, but... another step. And I'm obviously going to make this wire shorter, since it's way too long. But overall, I'm just happy that everything works. Well, almost everything. And after around an hour to maybe 30 minutes, I've gotten this wire right here, connected it all the way to the front. Obviously not the best setup. Look at that wire right there. It's enormous. But just for the sake of testing it, let's turn this on. Obviously the car is on. And there we go. Wow. Okay. Oh my god, this thing isn't... I need to mount this correctly. Alright, things are on. Okay, let's turn this on now. There we go. The car is fully on. And it's still not working. It's so weird. So I guess my theory is just that once the hybrid battery initiates, then it starts charging absolutely everything, starting powering the whole system. Which, I mean, I'm not sure how to bypass it, or even if I can bypass it. But, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna move this all the way back to the back again, connect it to where it was previously connected. But, I don't know. I guess I'll leave it for now, since it does still work technically, but I don't know. I guess it'll work once I dehybrid this thing, but oh well. Let's move on to actually minimizing this part and fully installing this piece where the radio was. And here's pretty much the final result. I'm not going to paint this thing yet, since I do know I want to add a couple switches back here. I'm just not sure exactly what I want them to do. I know I want one of them to activate the fans up front, just in case anything happens. I can just override it. But yeah, this little thing, you can just remove it, insert your little key, and then you can start the car, which is really nice. Especially when I dehybrid this car, it will be really crucial, because if anything happens, I can just kill the entire car. I can reach it easily, and it'll be good to go. But overall, this is pretty much the first step of converting this car to a manual car. Obviously, bigger battery, more cranking cams, all that's needed to actually be able to start the battery. The next video will probably tackle the starter wiring and the alternator wiring, hook those up, see if it's easy or not, and then move on from there. But overall, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.